A long time ago, in the old kingdom of Oyo, there lived a young boy named Connor who was born with no voice. Though he could not speak, he had a gift in his hands. Whenever he touched a drum, it was as though the earth itself listened. Connor's mother, Mama Ife, sold peppers in the market. His father had died during the last war with the Nupe, and life had not been easy. But Connor brought joy to the village through his music. At dusk, when the sun painted the sky orange, the children would gather in the square, and Connor would drum stories of brave hunters, foolish kings, wise women, and love that crossed rivers. One year, during the Harmattan, the king of Oyo grew ill. The palace healers tried every herb, every chant, every offering, but the king only got weaker. One night, an old diviner came from the edge of the kingdom and said, "The king's soul is fading because his spirit cannot hear joy. Only the drum of truth can call him back." Messengers were sent across the land to find this drum of truth, but none returned with anything that worked. But the queen had heard of the voiceless boy who made his drum sing. She sent her guards to bring Connor to the palace. When Connor arrived, he did not bow or speak. He simply walked to the center of the king's court and placed his drum on the marble floor. Then he began to play. He played the story of a boy born without a voice, of how the village mocked him, of a mother's love, of loss, of struggle, and of beauty found in silence. He drummed the rhythm of life, and as he played, the wind from the north stirred, and the leaves of the palace trees shivered. The king opened his eyes. He did not speak at first. He wept. And then, he laughed, a deep, rumbling laugh that filled the palace halls. "The boy," he said hoarsely, "has told the truth." From that day on, Connor was named Iron Oba, drummer of the king, and no longer was he seen as a boy without a voice. In Oyo, they say the truth does not always need words, sometimes, it only needs rhythm. Moral: your gift may not be in your mouth, but in your hands, your heart, or your silence.